Welcome to another episode of MarketSense, where we simplify real economic issues and concepts to help you better understand and make smarter economic decisions. My name is Dr. Taufik Olaoleraji. In episode 9 of MarketSense, we examined the Nigerian oil sector and focused on the tension between Dangote Refinery, NUPENG, and oil marketers. We also asked the fundamental question: was the situation then about market dominance or protecting consumer interests? In today's episode, we're going to take a step further by examining the recent controversy between Dangote Refinery and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency. What we are saying, is it about sabotage, corruption, or simply competition playing out under regulation? Stay with me, don't go anywhere. First, let's set the foundation. The NMDPRA is the regulator for Nigeria's midstream and downstream petroleum sector. Its responsibilities are licensing operators, regulating the distribution, transportation, and storage of petroleum products, promoting competition, preventing abuse and dominance in the market, ensuring energy security and consumer protection. On the other hand, Dangote is a private sector player operating as a refiner in the same sector. So in simple terms, Dangote produces fuel, NMDPRA regulates the working environment in which that fuel is sold. Recently, the chairman of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, made two strong public allegations against the leadership of NMDPRA. And the two allegations are: one, that the regulator approved and enabled the importation of cheaper fuel from Russia, undermining local refining. Secondly, that the MD of NDPRA used $5 million to fund his children's education in Switzerland. These two allegations triggered public outrage. Now, let's be clear and balanced here. If any public official cannot justify the source of its fund, it's a serious issue that should be investigated by the appropriate anti-corruption institution. That process, however, must be evidence-based and not driven by public sentiment. Now, here's where economics comes in. The approval of fuel imports, especially cheaper ones, does not automatically translate to corruption. One of the core mandates of NMDPRA is to ensure competition in the market. A regulator does not protect one firm, no matter how strategic that firm is. It exists to prevent monopolies and to ensure that the prices are competitive. Now, before you come for my head, pause. Let's ask some uncomfortable but necessary questions. Now, question number one: why did Dangote Refinery only reduce prices after oil marketers imported or planned to sell cheaper fuel? Number two, if Dangote wanted to push oil marketers out of the market, why not reduce prices months earlier, knowing that sustained lower pricing would make import business unprofitable? And now, question number three, was Dangote also benefiting from high margins when fuel was elevated at the expense of Nigerian consumers? This question does not in any way discredit Dangote's investment or patriotism. They simply highlight how market power behaves when competition is weak. What does this tell us economically? Markets work best when no single player dictates price, when regulators actively promote competition, and when consumers have alternatives. At this stage, Nigeria has only one active refinery. Until other players like BOA come on stream, the risk of dominance, intentional or unintentional, is real. In that context, having a regulated competition between Dangote Refinery and oil marketers may well be working well for us in the short term. And we're already seeing prices drop from this sort of competition. And that is beneficial to you and to me, who are the consumers. In reality, the issue is bigger than personalities. It is about market structure, regulatory balance, and consumer welfare. Allegations of corruption must be investigated properly. Market dominance must be checked with competition, and regulators must be firm and transparent. And also, consumers must always be the ultimate beneficiary. As more refineries come on board, competition will naturally deepen and prices will stabilize. And the need for regulatory intervention will sort of dwindle down. Until then, a controlled environment is always better than an uncontrolled one. I hope you enjoyed this week's edition of MarketSense. I hope to see you next week. And don't forget, say no to drugs, educate the mind, don't abuse it.